Hi, I'm Denise. Thank you for watching my video. Today I'm going to talk about the two sounds P and P. P is the sound at the beginning of the two words pay and pet. P is the sound at the beginning of the two words big and boat. These two sounds are called stop sounds. They're called stop sounds because we momentarily stop the air from coming out of our mouth and then we release it. So because we completely stop that air, these are stop sounds. We make the sounds by putting our lips in the same position. We close our lips like this, and that stops the air. Then when we open our lips, we release the air. So the first sound is P, P, P. The second sound is B, B, B. Notice that my lips are in the same position for each of these sounds. However, these two sounds are different. The first sound, P, is a voiceless sound. That means that my vocal cords do not vibrate when I make that sound. The second sound is a voiced sound. That means that my vocal cords do vibrate when I make that sound. If you would like more information on voicing, please see my other videos. I have two videos called Consonant Overview. There's part 1 and part 2. And I do talk about voicing in at least one of those videos, okay? So please take a look at those videos if you need more information about voicing. But again, voicing means that my vocal cords vibrate. So for this sound, they vibrate. We're going to try to make these two sounds and try to feel the vibration. Now it will be difficult because these are stop sounds and we can't really prolong the sound when we make it. But what we can do is we can try to lengthen the build-up or the preparation for making this sound. And in that way, you'll be able to feel some movement here in the vocal cords. Let's start with this sound first. And I'm going to try to hold the sound, or hold the build-up to the sound before I actually release the air. That way I can feel my vocal cords. I usually feel the movement here or here. Some people need to put their fingers up a little bit higher, some put them a little bit lower, but feel around on your neck so that you can feel the vocal cord movement, okay? And let's try this sound. B, b, b. Again, I cannot prolong the sound, but in the preparation for making the sound, I can feel movement here, okay? Let's try these two words. Big, big. Boat, boat. Okay? Now, compare that to this. If I try to build up this sound, which is P, I don't feel that movement here in my throat, in my vocal cords. So try to make this sound, but prolong that build-up time before you actually release the air. P, 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 P. You should feel the difference between this one and this one. Let's try that again. P, 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 P. You can feel a little bit of a difference, but again, it's easier to feel voicing by practicing some other sounds, as you'll see in my consonant overview videos, okay? So that is one of the differences between these two sounds. Another difference between these two sounds is that this first sound releases more air when we make it than the second sound. And the release of that air is called aspiration. So with this sound, P, 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 I release more air than I do for this sound. B, b. A little bit of air is released here, but much more for the first sound. You can feel that release of air if you put your hand in front of your mouth p, when you make the sound. So if you make this sound, p, 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 you should feel a lot of aspiration. You should feel a lot of air on your hand. You can practice that by putting a piece of paper in front of your mouth and watching the paper move as you aspirate that sound. So the paper will move as you push the air out of your mouth. P, p, p. If your paper is not moving, you may not be pushing enough air out of your mouth. In some languages, this sound is not aspirated, or is not aspirated as much as in English. So you should practice this sound and be sure to push out a lot of air. Be sure to have your paper move. P, p, p. Let me try these two words. Pay, pay, pet, pet, pet. Okay? So again, practice this please with a piece of paper and be sure that your paper is moving so that you are getting enough aspiration. With this sound, however, we don't have as much aspiration. There's just a little bit of air that comes out. So if I try this sound and these two words, b, 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 big, big, boat, boat. So the paper may move just a little bit, but it doesn't move as forcefully as it does, or as much as it does for the p sound. Let's try two similar words, okay? I have big here, so I'll put pig and big, and then we have pay, so I'll have pay and bay. How about pet and bet? So the ending of each of these pairs is the same, but the beginning sound is different. We have p and b, p, b, p, b. So let's practice saying these pairs with a piece of paper in front of your mouth. And be sure that you are aspirating the p sound so that your paper moves, okay? You should not be aspirating the b sound. Okay, let's try it. Pig, big. Let me do that again. I'm doing these two sounds here, okay? Pig, big, pig, big. I'll do it several times. Pig, big, pig, big, pig, big. Okay? Did you see the paper move for pig? Okay? It should be moving when you're doing it. Okay? Let's try pay and bay. It's the same thing. You should see the paper move for the first word, but not for the second. Pay, bay, pay, bay, pay, bay. Okay, let's try this pair. Pet, bet, pet, bet, pet, bet, pet, bet. Okay, so that is a difference between these two sounds. Although they are made with the mouth in the same way, the p is aspirated or pushes out more air, and the b does not. Also, the p is voiceless. There's no vibration in the vocal cords. The b is voiced. There is vibration in the vocal cords. Okay? Let's practice some words, more words, using these two sounds. Okay? Let's practice saying some words with the p sound. The words in this column have p at the beginning of the word. The words in this column have p in the middle of the word. And the words in this column have p at the end of the word. Okay? Let's start. Please repeat after me. Page, page. Paper, paper. Patient, patient. people, people, place, place, polite, polite, possible, possible, price, price, print, print. Okay, now for words in the middle column. Happy, happy, supper, supper, apple, apple, supply, supply, improve, improve. Okay, words with p at the end. Jump, jump. Keep, keep. Stop, stop. Okay, great. Now I do want to say a few words about aspiration. The p sound is mostly aspirated at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a stressed syllable that begins with a vowel sound like this. Page, page. So there is a lot of aspiration there. But at the end of a word, such as any of these, there is not a lot of aspiration. And even with some words, especially this word, stop, sometimes we don't fully release the air at the end of the word. Stop. We may just stop the air and not release it. We will see some more examples of that later. I don't want to practice that now, but I just want you to be aware of that aspiration is mostly made at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of some stressed syllables. Okay? All right. Let's practice some words with the b sound. The words in this column have b at the beginning of the word. The words in this column have b in the middle of the word. The words in this column have b at the end of the word. Okay, let's start. Please repeat after me. Baby, baby. Balloon, balloon. Body, body. Bus, bus. Business, business. Blue, blue. Black, black. Because, because. Behind, behind. Okay? Able, able. Maybe, maybe. Problem, problem. Barber, barber. Subway, subway. Crab, crab. Disturb, disturb. Verb, verb. All right? Let's practice saying some words which differ only in the sound p or b. The rest of the word is the same, okay? So in the first column, I have words beginning with p, and here I have words beginning with b, okay? The words sound very much alike, except for that beginning sound. So please practice with me. Remember, in this column, the P sound should be aspirated. Okay? Let's go. Pack, back, pet, bet, pole, bowl, push, bush. Let's do that again, okay? Pack, back, pet, bet, pole, bowl, push, bush. Okay? Let's practice some words here which end in P or B. I mentioned earlier with the word stop that we do not always fully pronounce the ending P sound. It's the same with P or B. But there's another way we can distinguish between these words if we do not fully pronounce those end sounds. And that way is because the vowel in these words is going to be longer in length. It takes more time to say than the vowels in these words. The reason for that is because these vowels are in front of a voiced consonant. Remember earlier I said P is voiceless and B is voiced. Vowels which occur before a voiced consonant, so vowels which occur before B will be longer than vowels which occur before P. Let me give you an example. Let me say that for you. Cap, cab. So I lengthen the vowel sound A in this word. I lengthen it because A comes before B. Okay? Cap, cab, cap, cab. So even if a speaker does not fully pronounce the P or the B at the end, so that maybe you have trouble distinguishing if it's a P or a B, if you can listen for the vowel length, then that can help you understand what word they're saying. Okay? Let's practice these. And please exaggerate the length on this side a little bit. We do naturally make these vowels longer, but for practice, it's always good to exaggerate. Okay? Please repeat. Cap, cab, cup, cub, mop, mob, rope, robe. Okay, the vowel sound here is longer. Cap, cab, cup, cub, mop, mob, rope, robe. Okay? Let's practice a few words that have the P or B in the middle of the word. Okay? Simple, symbol, simple, symbol, staple, stable, staple, stable. It's also good to make short sentences using these words and see if you can distinguish them. For example, I'm going to say a sentence and you decide whether I am saying pack or back in the sentence. Put it in the back. Put it in the back. Did I say put it in the pack or put it in the back? Which did I say? I said back. Put it in the back. Put it in the back. And put it in the is put it in the So I said put it in the back, okay? Let's try another one. Look at the mob. Look at the mob. Did I say mop or mob? Look at the mob. I said mob. Let's try another one. Please hand me the rope. Please hand me the rope. Did I say rope or robe? Rope or robe? Please hand me the rope. I said rope. Okay? How about I need a cap? I need a cap. Which one did I say? Cap or cab? I said cap. I need a cap. This time I will say cab. I need a cab. I need a cap. I need a cab. Hand me my rope. Hand me my robe. Look at the mob. Look at the mob. It's a cup. It's a cub. Okay? Could you distinguish those? I hope so. If not, just practice a little bit and I'm sure you'll be able to quite soon. Okay? Let's practice some sentences with the P sound. Please repeat after me. Patient people prefer peaceful places. Patient people prefer peaceful places. Patient people prefer peaceful places. Okay? Next one. Paul put purple paper around the package. Paul put purple paper around the package. Paul put purple paper around the package. Okay? Please provide proof of your purchase. Please provide proof of your purchase. Please provide proof of your purchase. Okay, great. Let's practice saying some sentences with the B sound. Please repeat after me. The baby baboon bounced the ball in the backyard. The baby baboon bounced the ball in the backyard. The baby baboon bounced the ball in the backyard. Okay, next one. The bees buzzed around the blueberry blossoms behind the barn. The bees buzzed around the blueberry blossoms behind the barn. The bees buzzed around the blueberry blossoms behind the barn. Okay, next one. My boss brought business brochures in his briefcase to the boardroom. My boss brought business brochures in his briefcase to the boardroom. My boss brought business brochures in his briefcase to the boardroom. Okay? Great. I have been talking about the P sound, which is represented by the letter P. And I do want to mention that there are many words in English that have the letter P in them and that do not have the P sound. The letter P is silent. So I have put some of them up on the board here for you. Okay? The first one is is a very common word, the word receipt. It is spelled R-E-C-E-I-P-T, but we don't pronounce that letter P. So this word is receipt, receipt, okay? Also, I've written the word pneumonia. This word starts with P-N. Whenever we have a word that starts with P-N, we do not pronounce the P. So this starts with the N sound, or N, pneumonia, pneumonia. And this is a disease, but there are other words that begin with P-N, okay? Also, I put two words which start with P-S up on the board here. I have psychology and psychiatry. In these two words, we do not pronounce the P sound, so we pronounce these as if they start with the S or S sound, okay? Psychology and psychiatry. And also words which begin with PT, and fortunately we don't have many of them. In these words, we do not pronounce the P, so we start this word as if it began with T sound, okay? And we don't use this word often. It's an extinct flying reptile like a dinosaur. This one is pterodactyl. So, I just wanted to mention that there are many words that have the silent P in them. And also, one last thing about the letter P is that when we have PH here, the sound that makes is like the letter F. So I will talk about this more in my video about the sound. But I just wanted to let you know that these words and other words like them that have PH do not have a P sound. They have a F sound like the F. So this is as if it were, this is pharmacy, phone, and photo, okay? I also want to mention that not every word with the letter B in it has the B sound. We do have many words that are spelled with the letter B, but where the B is silent. I have written some of them on the board for you. The first one is debt. Debt, a bill you owe. We do not pronounce the letter B. And I have doubt. Doubt. In this one, we don't pronounce the letter B. Notice that both of these end in BT. Okay? So the letter B is not pronounced. Then I have written some words that have the letters MB. Many words that end in MB do not have the letter B pronounced. So this is comb, comb. You fix your hair with a comb. Lamb, lamb. Thumb, thumb. This is my thumb. And plumber, plumber. Person who fixes the pipes. We have other words too where the letter B is not pronounced. I just wanted to give you a sample of those here. Debt, doubt, comb, lamb, thumb, plumber. If you'd like more practice with these sounds, please see my P and B word list videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.